Hello, and welcome to Raising Hearts for Christ, where we explore practical biblical parenting strategies. I'm Lisa Holsinger, and I'm so glad you're here. This podcast is dedicated to equipping you with meaningful strategies to nurture your children's hearts, instill lasting values, and build godly character. It's an honor to walk alongside you on this journey of faith in parenting. Last time we talked about teaching honor at home, how honor helps children move beyond simple obedience to actively contributing in their families. But as we discussed, teaching honor, or any virtue, requires more than just telling kids what to do. It requires showing them how and giving them tools to succeed. That's where today's episode picks up, teaching and prayer, partnering with God for heart change. Teaching and prayer go hand in hand. Teaching gives our children the how, the practical steps they need to grow. Prayer invites God into the process, trusting Him to do the deep work in their hearts. So today we're going to talk about how to teach in a way that gives kids practical steps to grow, not just vague expectations. I'll introduce a simple but powerful tool called the T-Chart that helps children take ownership of their own growth. And finally, we'll explore how prayer and spiritual training infuse grace into the process, so kids aren't just trying to be good in their own strength. So let's dive in. We've all been there. You tell your child, you need to be more patient with your sibling, or you have to control your anger, but do they really know how to do that? Too often we give commands without equipping our children with a strategy for success. And the truth is, when a child struggles with patience, self-control, or kindness, they often feel stuck, and they're trapped in a pit with no way out. That's why teaching is so important. It acts as the ladder that helps them climb out of that pit. But here's the key. Long lectures don't work, and we've all done it. We start explaining why they need to be more patient, respectful, or forgiving, only to watch their eyes glaze over. Instead of launching into a 5-minute speech about why patience is important, try something short and direct. Like, I see you're getting frustrated with your little brother. What's one thing you can do right now to stay calm? Or, I noticed you used a kind voice just now instead of snapping. What helped you do that? These simple questions helps kids connect their behavior to actionable steps, rather than just expecting them to figure it out on their own. But even then, sometimes kids need a concrete way of practicing making better choices. That's where a T-Chart comes in. Life is full of challenges, and our children need tools to navigate them. Whether it's learning patience with a younger sibling, staying calm when they lose a game, or handling frustration with schoolwork, one of the best skills we can teach them is perseverance, the ability to keep going even when things get hard. Romans 5:3-4 reminds us, suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. And perseverance isn't just for big struggles. It's for little things too, like managing emotions, handling disappointment, or staying respectful under pressure. One simple way to help children develop perseverance is through the T-Chart. It's a visual tool that helps them map out how to respond to a challenge. At the top, you and your child write, Sally's plan for dealing with, and whatever the specific problem is. On the left side, the child writes 3 to 5 actions they can take when they face this struggle. Only they write on the side because we want them to take ownership of their plan. If they're stuck, ask, what will you do? And what will you say? Maybe it's taking a deep breath saying, I can do this, or walking away for a moment before responding. On the right side, parents can offer suggestions if the child is unsure. If your child struggles with handling frustration, their left side might say, take a deep breath before reacting. Walk away for a minute before speaking. Think of something positive about the situation. Meanwhile, you might suggest ideas on the right side. Count to 5 before responding. Ask, what's the best way to solve this? This makes discipline less about punishment and more about training. The next time your child struggles, instead of repeating the same old lecture, you can simply say, go get your T-Chart. What could you do differently next time? This puts the responsibility back on them, and that's the goal. We don't want kids just reacting. We want them to own their growth. Keep in mind, growth doesn't happen overnight. A child's challenges change as they mature. That's why the T-chart isn't a one-time exercise. It's a tool that grows with them. Every few weeks, sit down with your child and revisit their T-chart. Ask, how have you been able to use these strategies? What's working? What's not? Do you want to add anything new? Your child can erase, revise, or even make a new chart if their challenge has shifted. Maybe they've mastered patience with their sibling, but now need help with frustration over schoolwork. This is how perseverance develops, by helping kids reflect, adjust, and try again. We can give our kids tools, but it's God who changes hearts. And this is where we need to lean into grace. 2 Corinthians 12:9 says, "My grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness." Grace is the strength God gives to meet the challenges we face, and prayer is how we access that strength. Instead of making kids feel like God is watching to punish them, we want to remind them that He is a loving Father who walks with them. Instead of saying, "God doesn't like when you do that," say, "God is with you even when you struggle. He wants to help you." And when your child makes a good choice, ask them reflection questions like, "What's your secret to handling that well?" If they don't know, suggest ideas like, "Maybe you thought I can handle this. It's okay." Here's a phrase to remember this week. Tough moments are training moments. Every time your child faces a challenge, remind them that it's an opportunity to learn, grow, and lean on God's grace. And here's my challenge for you. Pick one struggle your child is facing and create a T-chart together. Keep it simple. Pray with them about it and encourage them as they try. God is already working in your child's heart. Keep teaching, keep praying, and trust God with the results. If this episode encouraged you, I'd love to hear from you. Send me an email at podcast@scriptureguidedparenting.com with your thoughts or any questions about biblical parenting. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Don't forget to subscribe to Raising Hearts for Christ on your favorite podcast platform and share this episode with friends who might need encouragement. Remember, train, trust, transform. Let's do this together. Until next time, take care. God bless.